Good evening. Local economic growth has picked up in the third quarter of 2016, but the government warns external factors could have a negative impact on the economy on the way forward. Evelina Leung tells us more.
Some good news on the economic front. Government data out today showed the city saw a 1.9% growth in the third quarter of 2016, year on year. That's up from the 1.7% growth in the second quarter. It was a result of a number of factors, such as total exports of goods that grew 1.9%. Exports of services saw a smaller drop, down 1.8%, compared with a 4.6% drop in the previous quarter. Private consumption rose 1.2%, while overall investment spending increased by 6% year on year. The labor market remained in a state of full employment, with the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate staying at 3.4%. Meanwhile, residential property prices rebounded up to a cumulative 8.9% in the 6 months between March and September. The month-to-month increases rose steadily from 0.7% in April to 2.8% in September, the largest monthly gain since February 2013. Overall, economic growth for the first 3 quarters of the year reached 1.4%, in line with government expectations. GDP growth for the entire year is now projected at 1.5%, the midpoint of the range forecast of 1 to 2%. Even with this quarter's performance, the government is warning investors to remain vigilant due to external factors.
First and foremost is the looming U.S. interest rate hike, the monetary divergence among major central banks, and there are also new uncertainties about possible policy changes with the new U.S. administration after the latest presidential election. And not to mention that if we look at the global landscape, there are still very sluggish recovery in Europe and in Japan. And not to mention that there is the Brexit events still unfolding, and that geopolitical tensions in many regions in the world remain elevated.
Evelina Leung, TVB News.